Please, don't worry so much. Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky, when the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day. Make a wish. And think of me. And make your life spectacular. I know I did.
My tombstone will say 1951-2014. I never knew till now. It's not the dates that matter. It's the dash. Irrevocably fucked.
Rehab. His wife, Susan Schneider, issuing a statement tonight saying, "I lost my husband and my best friend. I am utterly heartbroken." A tidal wave of sadness and sympathy online tonight from fans and fellow celebrities. Steve Martin tweeting, "I could not be more stunned by the loss of Robin Williams. Mensch, great talent, acting partner, genuine soul." John Travolta, "He loved us all and we loved him back. He had only the best things to say about people and we are all better for having known him. I love you, Robin." And so many more tonight. Bill Cosby, Tim Allen, Kevin Spacey, Reba McEntire, and this from Ellen DeGeneres. "I can't believe the news about Robin Williams. He gave so much to so many people. I'm heartbroken." We spoke by phone tonight with Cheryl Hines, who guest starred on Williams' recent CBS sitcom, The Crazy Ones.
It's so hard right now because it's so tragic, but I just feel very thankful and grateful that I got to work with him and I got to be his friend.
Even President Obama weighing in tonight. He was one of a kind. He arrived in our lives as an alien, but he ended up touching every element of the human spirit. And in Hollywood itself tonight at the iconic comedy club, The Laugh Factory, where Williams performed many times, a tribute right there on the marquee. Robin Williams, rest in peace, make God laugh. For Williams, life began in Chicago in 1951. His mother, a former model, his father, an executive at Ford. He was, surprisingly, a quiet child. The first comic impression he did, imitating his grandmother to his mom. It was only in high school, in drama class, that he overcame that shyness. He went on to Juilliard, and shortly thereafter, in the late 1970s, he burst into the national consciousness as an oddball alien named Mork
Nanu.
in the TV show Mork and Mindy.
Fly, be free!
He ad-libbed most of his dialogue and his wild physical comedy. The show was a huge hit. Then came a series of live comedy specials, also big hits.
We believe now the accident at Chernobyl has been taken care of. If you'd like to follow us into the plant, I'll show you around.
And then, of course, the movies. There was that unforgettable role in Popeye. But Williams very quickly moved into dramatic territory with The World According to Garp in 1982, about a struggling writer and his romantic entanglements.
It's my first short story. I wrote it for you.
You wrote it for me.
Many of his most famous roles mixed both wit and warmth. Good Morning Vietnam.
What is a demilitarized zone? Sounds like something out of The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, no, don't go in there.
The Dead Poets Society.
On this class, you can either call me Mr. Keating, or if you're slightly more daring, oh, Captain, my Captain.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello!
And Good Will Hunting.
Unless you want to talk about you, who you are, then I'm fascinated. I'm in.
For which he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. But all that on-screen humor masked inner turmoil. In the early 1980s, a problem with cocaine, which he claimed to have quit after the fatal overdose of his friend and fellow comedian John Belushi. He spoke to ABC's Barbara Walters about it.
People also feel, in writing about you and, and reading the interviews, that the death of John Belushi was an enormous influence on you, rather than just, well, I don't know, you tell me what it was for you.
It's only the fact that, here's a guy who was probably one of the toughest, strongest people you could ever meet, and he's taken out, and it's basically, it cleaned up a whole generation of people. Because this guy was as strong as anybody you could ever meet. I mean, a guy, John, for a laugh, could run into that wall and get up and do it again. So if it took him out, you realize that, we are all pretty mortal.
When we hear about people using drugs, most of the time they use them to get a high.
Yeah, for me, it was basically it was a great way of escaping. It was a great way to cut off from people because it was the only time I could escape,
He got sober for many years, it appears, but then he relapsed, as he discussed on his comedy tour, Weapons of Self-Destruction.
And alcohol is especially dangerous for people like myself, alcoholics. Or you can say ethanol challenge, whatever you want to call it.
Williams checked himself into rehab in 2006, and he talked about it in this interview with ABC's Diane Sawyer.
So to talk about it as caused by something...
Not caused by anything, it's just there. It's just, it's latent, waits. It lays in wait, and for the time when you think, it's fine now, I'm okay. And then the next thing you know, it's not okay. Things are not going so well. And then you realize, where am I? This is strange. I didn't realize I was in Cleveland.
How are you?
I am well. Very well. It is a good thing.
Is it a good thing?
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
2 months?
2 months. Club medicated. Away, quiet time. Good, though. I'm back. People say, how do you feel? With my fingers. How's it? Don't drink. What are you doing to stay that way? Don't drink.
Relapse cost him his second marriage, but he soon sought to clean up his act for the sake of his career and, most importantly, his 3 children, as discussed in this interview.
But the one thing that cleaned me up from that was having a kid. That's immediate. That's the same as, and I didn't have any rehab or any group, so I just...
Really? You did it by yourself?
Oh, totally. It's I took my mother's advice of, vitamins and exercise. When you have a kid, you're pretty much awake and smell like piss anyway, so you don't need drugs. You're like, hey, where's the baby?
It is fitting, then, that his final posting on social